2 true and terrifying submissions. Me and my family have moved around a lot, and in every house I've sort of sensed something. Mind you, I'm only 12, so it could just be my childlike mind, but I swear at least some of this stuff was definitely not, normal. My family used to live in a suburban house in Australia. My sister, we'll call her Jane, she always used to talk in her sleep. It wasn't just babbling either. She used to have full-blown conversations with what we thought was herself. It wasn't until one night my dad overheard her chatting, so we went to check on her. The following is from his own words. She was sitting up in bed, still asleep, and patting something in her lap while talking to someone. She said that the person couldn't keep it, but that they could play with it. I asked her who she was talking to, and she replied, "No one." I asked her again and got the same response. But then I asked her who her friend was. Her response was, "Linda." Then she proceeded to lie back down and didn't stir until morning. But the strange stuff didn't really stop there. Whenever I went into Jane's room, I felt weird. The air wasn't really bad, but it definitely was different from the rest of the house. It's hard to describe. And I was only 9 at the time, but it still creeped me out. Later on, we moved to a new house and Jane stopped talking in her sleep. It wasn't until we moved again that things sparked up once more. As soon as my mom's car pulled into the driveway of this place, I wanted to leave. It had a horrible vibe. It felt like I was being watched. While living there, I was constantly looking around behind me, and I always felt so small. No matter how many times we tried to level them out or fix them, the picture frames outside of Jane's room used to always tilt to the left. And I never liked my closet. I had to sleep facing it, or else I couldn't sleep at all. I didn't trust it. One day, while my uncle was over, I was walking down the hallway to my room. You see, to get there, I had to pass Jane's room. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw it. Something. It was like a shadow, but it wasn't. It was a silhouette, but blacker than night. It was leaning over her bed, but it wasn't moving. I looked again, and it was gone. This happened several more times that day, with me seeing something sitting on her toy box and at the end of her bed. I distinctly remember a few nights after that, I was lying awake, staring at my closet. I'm sort of an insomniac, so I don't sleep often anyway. I suddenly heard a noise, like my door opening. I looked over and, sure enough, my door had slipped open. I say slipped because the latch on my door never worked properly, and you had to push on the door until you heard a strong click, otherwise the wind could blow it open easily. I remember doing just that, but then again, it could have been a possibility. Maybe I just forgot? But wait, that wouldn't be possible. I checked the window, and it was shut. There was no way any breeze could have gotten into that room to blow the door open. I got up and shut it properly, this time making sure to hear it click. But I was still incredibly creeped out. After we moved out of that house, I asked almost all of my extended family members if they ever felt weird in that house. I always asked them privately and never told them what the others had said. But they all said that the house was fine, but they never liked the hallway for some reason. Now that I think about it, no one but the residents ever went down that hallway. It's as if everyone else avoided it. I don't really know, but I never liked that place, and I'm glad we left. Hey there, for some backstory, I live in an old house, as does my mother's side of the direct family. Every generation, as long as anybody can really remember, her side of the family has been able to see spirits and sense presences and gather sorts of vibes they give off, whether it be good, happy, childish, etc., or angry, dark, cold, evil. You know, sort of like an intuition. Well, anyways, when I was 12, her side of the family flew over from Australia to visit, meaning they were over for several weeks. My step-grandfather had seen a spirit of a girl, a mid to late teens one, in a plaid skirt that went about halfway down her calves. She also had the sort of glow that didn't cast any sort of light, if that makes sense. She appeared to be this pretty blue with a light pattern that was very similar to, say, the bottom of a clean pool on a sunny day. I know it sounds like a cheesy way to describe a friendly spirit, but I've never come across a better comparison. Well, I'd mentioned it to my step-grandfather. Let's call him R. He was also able to see paranormal entities about the girl whom he hadn't spoken about before. Since his own house was quite old, a passively roaming spirit wasn't that huge of a deal to him anymore. But his interest was captured when I described my own vision of this girl, because it perfectly matched his own. Over the remainder of his visit, we didn't really see her much anymore, but that was alright. I wasn't afraid of her. I called her Pilgrim Girl, because she felt very old despite her youth, but not ancient. I assumed she maybe drowned due to her coloring and all. I didn't approach her because I didn't want her to feel threatened or unwelcomed in the house, so things continued on as normal. Until one night. I frequently would wake up, read a while, and go get a soda, read more as I drank it, and then get back to sleep. Caffeine never really made me hyper. Actually, it has the opposite effect and calms me. So it was fine for me to just drink Dr. Peppers in the middle of the night. Anyway, a quick detail. I was going through a phase of being paranoid that a roach would scuttle over my foot, so I was wearing my shoes inside. So I'd woken up and slipped on my shoes to go to the mini fridge for a can of soda, only to stop and set it on the table to shove a bit of shoelace back into my shoe so it couldn't touch my foot and freak me out. And that's when it happened. It was right in the heart of the witching hour, while my head was down by my shoe, that I suddenly felt a presence. I immediately stood back up straight once again, and then I saw it. In the doorway from the room I was in to the living room, there was a large figure. It was made of black, billowing fog, or maybe smoke, but there was no odor or anything. It was vaguely the shape of a taller man, but it certainly wasn't human, and it was terrifying. I'll be honest, I just froze like a deer in headlights. My eyes went wide, and I just stared at this weird thing, darker than the shadows cast by the lamps in the room. I could feel it glaring at me, and I felt a bit heady, as if I was slowly climbing into the back seat of my own mind, like the front seat wasn't mine anymore. I remember my guts felt like they were writhing from the look of that thing, dripping with icy water. My heart was feeling like it was being squeezed tight in a fist. Suddenly, though, it was gone. And for just a moment, I blinked and it was gone. I could have swore I saw the dull blue glow of the Pilgrim Girl, but in a flash, both were gone, and I was left standing alone in the dark room. And I never saw either ever again. I'm still a bit creeped out by whatever that shadow thing was. I mean, I can't go into that room again at night without having all the lights on. But as far as the Pilgrim Girl, I feel a bit sad about not seeing her again. I really do think she was good. Either way, I still don't know what that other thing was, and as long as I never have to see it again, I don't really care to. Hey everyone, thanks so much for watching. Before you go, I just wanted to take a quick moment to thank all my patrons, and a special shout out to all my patrons who donated $20 or more: Tyler Spooks, Mortem Gutierrez, Kura, and Simon Lavadier Delisle. If you're interested in becoming a patron, you can follow the link in the card. But that's all for now. Until next time, stay creepy.